Winning the Division, episode number 59. I am your co-host, Ryan Smith. Alongside me, former NFL tight end Ben Troupe, played for the Bucs, the Raiders, and the Tennessee Titans. As we do, always starting with first things first, we're going to welcome our guest in just about 5 to 10 minutes time for the NFC West. But Ben, let's start first things first, as we originally and always do. Former Panthers great, I'm just kidding, Cowboys wide receiver Jonathan Mingo likely to start the season out on IR after a PUP injury to his right knee.
It's the preseason. I'll be telling you, Smitty, the thing about the preseason is, can we execute with the first team? Can we make plays if you're trying to make the team? And can we come out healthy? It's going to be – somebody's going to be going out for the season from the start of the preseason to the end of the preseason, and somebody's going to go out every week. You just hope that it's not your team, and more importantly, it's not your quarterback.
Let's go to Cam Ward. He and Jeffrey Simmons, defensive tackle for the Titans, Cam Ward, rookie quarterback for the Tennessee Titans out of Washington State, scuffle in training camp, tempers flaring at practice on Monday. And these two guys have been going at it all training camp, but it sounds like it kind of came to a head after a touchdown to Calvin Ridley at the end of practice. And Simmons didn't like that too much, and he and Ward were sparring.
I mean, that wasn't a real fight. I mean, Cam Ward understands the situation. Jeffrey Simmons definitely understands the situation. Never, ever in life would Cam Ward ever even attempt to approach Jeffrey Simmons outside of, the practice field. But they say that Jeffrey Simmons is a talker. Cam Ward is a talker. And it's just healthy banter back and forth. Jeffrey Simmons understands the hopes and dreams of an entire organization rest on the right arm and, health of and one Cam Ward. But I think it's good for the morale. Both of those guys, the leader of the defense, leader of the offense, but it's going to be much ado about nothing. Jeffrey Simmons can snap Cam Ward in half if he wanted to, but I mean, I do like the competitiveness of it.
Let's keep it moving. Dolphins adding former Patriots and Falcons pass rusher Matt Judon to a one-year deal up to $6 million.
Matt Judon being added to the Miami Dolphins mean that one of their pass rushers, either Phillips, or Chubb, one of those guys is going to be key contributors, is either out for a significant period of time, or one of those guys about to hit IR. You don't add a guy like Matt Judon for just depth. You add him to potentially be a third down specialist, or potentially a starter. I will be waiting to see which one of those guys definitely are dealing with some nicks, or probably going to be out for a significant period of time to start the season, maybe the PUP list.
Let's head to New England. Executive Elliott Wolf says Patriots willing to trade top pick for next year if it's willing to help the team.
I mean, Vrabel seems to be a guy that's definitely going for it. I mean, that being able to, kind of like replacing a Bill Belichick and understanding that he's not interested in rebuilding, just reload. He don't want to deal with what what Mayo did last year. So yeah, they going all in, and dare I say, anybody on the roster that's not a free agent or a top pick, you might be a tradable piece. We'll see, because like we were talking about earlier today, Smitty, when it comes to this playing checkers and chess, when it comes to who's going to be on the 53 man, you got to do all you can, because once that last preseason game is over and guys start getting cut and hitting that waiver wire, you want to be able to have all your ducks in a row.
And we'll go to Minnesota. Jefferson, wide receiver one, obviously they're back in practice after 25 days as he continues to suffer that left hamstring injury that he suffered last month.
Well, because he's missed so much training camp and just jumping back out there, they're still going to ease him into it, because it's more important that he be there for the first game than a preseason game. I mean, Justin Jefferson definitely understands that he's going to be the key component of that offense, but they're going to bring him back as slow as possible. But come week one, they definitely want him 100% and ready to go.
Commanders, Brian Robinson, running back from Alabama, third-round pick a couple years ago, sitting out amidst the uncertainty that he might be getting traded before the start of the regular season.
Year two is going to be crazy for a guy like Jaden Daniels, because everything around him seems to be crashing and burning. It has nothing to do with him. I mean, no Terry McLaurin. I mean, he still isn't there. You talk about a guy like Brian Robinson Jr. Name me an offense that couldn't use a B-Rob. Name me an offense that couldn't use a Terry Scary McLaurin. So right now, I don't know what's going on. In D.C., but the nation's capital, it ain't looking good for Jaden Daniels, who definitely won his number one receiver and definitely won his running back, who definitely makes that offense go.
Browns name a 42-year-old quarterback, Joe Flacco, their week one starter over Dylan Gabriel and Shedeur Sanders, both the high-profile rookies out of Oregon and Colorado, respectively.
we knew that Joe Flacco he was in the driver's seat to be the starter. Not because I think he's the best quarterback for Cleveland. I think he makes it so that Dylan Gabriel and Shadur Sanders still has to kind of watch how he navigates the offense, how he orchestrates, an offense. And I don't think that Joe Flacco is going to be the starter for the entire season, but it kind of keeps everybody at bay right now. Dylan Gabriel did look good in preseason game number 2. Shadur looked good in preseason game number 1. The tiebreaker will go to Joe Flacco. The odd man out, and I'm starting to come around with it more spinning, is Kenny Pickett. I don't want to hear about Deshaun Watson running. I don't care. Deshaun Watson is running. Who cares? Deshaun Watson he might not play football again. He definitely won't play again for the Cleveland Browns. They still owe him a lot of money.
And then Xavier Howard, former Pro Bowl corner for the Miami Dolphins, signs a 1-year deal with the Indianapolis Colts.
Anytime you can cover, anytime you still got some tread left on those tires, a guy like Xavier Howard, he's definitely going to be, because once again, a guy at his age and the stage of his career, be looking for him to play on the outside in the slot, maybe even some safety. I think you can find a way to get him on the field, but yeah, he's definitely back in the National Football League, and we'll see how much he got left.
And then we'll end it on trade speculation. You already mentioned Scary Terry, Micah Parsons. I don't think either of those guys are going to be traded. You never know, obviously, what happens with the contracts. We've been over that one. But Trey Hendrickson, Bengals now listening to trade offers for Trey Hendrickson.
I have never seen anything like this, Smitty. To lead the league in sacks one time is hard to do. To do it twice in back-to-back season, 35 sacks, 17.5 in back-to-back season, first team All-Pro 2023, 2024. Not only do the team that you was on don't want you, it seemed to find some trade options for him. I don't think it's the player. I think it's the number, because whoever trade for him, they know how much they're going to have to pay him. And like I said, Smitty, the proof is in the numbers and the production, but I wonder why teams are straying away from him. And like we talked about earlier, Max Crosby, not in that caliber. Micah Parsons, not in that caliber. Myles Garrett, not in that caliber. And he led the league in sacks 2 years in a row. It's something about Trey Hendrickson that hasn't come out yet. I'm not understanding. Yes, the worst front office in football just happens to be in Cincinnati, Ohio, but there's no excuse to not have him under contract right now, or at least have him traded to a team that's willing to either pick up the contract he had and give him a new one, or at least be fielding these calls.
And we'll go ahead in just a second bring in our NFC West participants tonight. But before we do that, I wanted to let you know about our friends over at 1-800-Flowers. They're doing their back-to-school campaign. Celebrate the start of a new school year. Thoughtful gifts, fresh flowers with our back-to-school collection that bring comfort, encouragement, and a touch of home to their new space. Whether heading back to campus or starting a new academic adventure, our curated selection is perfect for lifting spirits and making their tradition a little brighter. You can let them know your friends at Winning Division sent you. All right. Well, it is time to welcome in our guest for the NFC West preview tonight. Let's go ahead and welcome them in.
Hey guys, how's it going?
How you doing?
Good.
Good evening, everybody.
All right. Gentlemen, welcome. Just so everyone knows, Ben and I are going to be representing the LA Rams tonight. So all the junk you want to talk about the Rams, you certainly can do so, because there is no Ram representative tonight. There is a Seahawks, Cardinals, and Niners gang present. So any Matthew Stafford hate, Ben and I will not oblige, or we will not have any strong feelings towards Matthew Stafford.
So let's not make fun of the elderly here. I think that'd be fair. That's
whoa. We ain't starting on with no elderly talk. It's already jumped off. No. I'm looking forward to having some fun. We got Mark, Brett down here. We got Alexander down here. Got Bo. Let's do it, man.
All right. Well, I sent everyone an email just to put some basic instructions. Go ahead and introduce yourselves, what you do, the fan of your team, if it's not obvious for some of you, and how you became a fan of your team or content creator for some of you.
Want us to start it off, Ryan?
Whatever you want.
All right. Well, it's a pleasure to be here. My name is Brett McDuffie, and this is my father, Mark. So, longtime 49er fans. Mark, when did you start being a fan?
Early 70s. I saw the play. I was on TV watching Dallas and Staubach come back from way down against the Niners, and like it was either 71 or 72 playoffs, and the 49ers were terrible for about a decade after that. So after that, things got a lot better in the 80s, thanks to the couple of choking by Cincinnati in the Super Bowls, but we had really good success in Super Bowls up until the Patrick Mahomes era. But maybe we'll get our shine back this year. But
You never know.
yeah,
I might as well go next then.
yeah.
Yep. Hi, everyone. I am Mookie, and I am the managing editor over at Field Goals for SB Nation. I am a fan of the Seattle Seahawks. I have been for going on 2 decades now, and Ben Troupe had his only 100-yard game of his NFL career against my Seahawks.
Whoa!
Yes. He was tearing us up. Now that was supposed to be an easy win for the Seahawks, and we had to sweat it out. But Steve McNair, God rest his soul, was tearing us up with Drew Bennett and Tyrone Calico and Ben Troupe. It was crazy. I had to come back to win that game. But yes, the Seahawks have been my team for 20 years. I've been covering them in some capacity for, I think, 8 years now. And it's a blast to do this. And hopefully a return to the playoffs is coming soon, because I haven't been able to witness a playoff victory in 6 years now.
Wow.
Man, I'm Bo Brock. I cover the Cardinals for PHNX Sports. Been doing it here for 4 years. Been covering the Cards on and off for the last decade. It's been some thin years, but high expectations this year. I mean, they've got a pretty solid roster at the end of the rebuild here. We'll see if Marvin Harrison Jr. can make a jump in year 2. But I think we're going into a pretty fun season, I think.
Yeah. Hold on. So I don't know what's so first we got Brett calling his dad Mark. Like, what about you, Mark? How long have you been a 49ers fan?
Yeah.
Then we got Mookie. We got Mookie going to blast. Yeah, I did have over. Didn't even know I had over 100 yards, Mookie. I mean, at the end of the game, I'm like, I did it. People interviewing me. I'm like, y'all want to interview me? What did I do today? Oh, you had over 100. Oh, okay. I thought I'm too busy watching Sean Alexander just rock the baby on him, which that's when he was. And then
MVP.
Listen. A man named Bo covering the Cardinals. I'm here for it all day. I'm looking forward to this show. Let's do it. Let's do it.
Let's just start with one of the questions I sent was in 2025 season. Doesn't have to be necessarily your team, just NFL season. What are you looking forward to in this coming up year?
I'm just looking forward to a healthy 49ers season. Hopefully they can finish the year in one piece and have a shot at the playoffs. That's all you can hope for.
Yeah. I'm hoping for a host of a Super Bowl with Taylor Swift singing at halftime.
Oh, spoiler.
Well, that might be the best kept secret in all of sports. You know, Taylor and the New Heights podcast, Taylor dropping 60 and 47 on that podcast last week. So, yeah, that might be the worst kept secret. We'll see what happens there.
Would the dream be San Francisco beating Kansas City in that Super Bowl with Taylor performing at halftime?
I think so. We have 2 49er fans here who could probably confirm that, but I would think so.
We can only beat Cincinnati in Super Bowls. We need to play Cincinnati.
Yeah, or Broncos.
Well, I'm hoping that the Seahawks can make it to the home of the 49ers for this season's Super Bowl. I'm not really counting on it, but I'm just hoping, as far as the Seahawks are concerned, that we've got a running game that can move forward. Kenneth Walker and Zach Charbonnet are not instantly hitting the backfield as soon as they get the ball, and that this defense can continue to show its potential as a top 5, top 10 unit. And I'm liking what I'm seeing so far in preseason, but you got to be about it. So I think that the regular season is obviously a different beast altogether, but that San Francisco game week 1, I can't wait for it.
I think we're looking for Kyler Murray to make a jump in year 7. It's been, we're looking for that first consistent season. We've seen splashes here and there. 2021 comes to mind. First 7-8 weeks, he's putting up 20 total touchdowns, MVP numbers. And then, you kind of have the organization fall apart, bad general manager at that point. But I think the new regime's in year 3 now. And with Marvin Harrison Jr., year 2, Trey McBride is one of the best tight ends in football, good, solid offensive line. All the pieces are there for Kyler Murray to really have his finest season. Now it's just like, can he do it consistently week in and week out? And he's going to have a good opportunity going up against like the Saints week 1. If you were to handpick an opponent week 1, I think the Saints, they're absolutely just atrocious. They don't even have a quarterback that's in place. The Cardinals can get off to a good start with the Saints, Panthers. They got the Niners in week 3. We'll see what their health status is there. Shanahan's saying like week 5, week 6 on guys like Brandon Ayuk and Mustafa. So could be an opportunity there on the road. So it Cardinals, the way it sets up, they can get off to a hot start, and then it's going to come down to, can Kyler close? And we know that there's a big thing against him and not performing down the stretch. So he's going to have to do it in order to go back to the playoffs.
All right, which begs the question. I mean, we know Kyler Murray, everybody's going to be watching him. This is year number 7. Brock Purdy just got paid. Stafford is, he's ancient at this point. He ain't even played yet in the preseason. Then you got Sam Darnold. The health of every quarterback is in question. Brock Purdy has gotten hurt. Kyler Murray has gotten hurt. Stafford is hurt right now. Sam Darnold has had an outlier season. If one of those guys goes down, who do you guys feel the best about your backup? Because Stetson Bennett has looked really, really good, and I hate to give a Georgia quarterback any love, even though the starter is from Georgia. Which backup, any one of you guys can go, do you feel good about? Not for the season, just for like a good Robin role if they got to miss a couple of games.
I think Mac Jones can step in a heartbeat. Shanahan loves him. He just dink and dunk. He doesn't have to win the game on his own. The Niners are all run game. He doesn't have to do too much. I think it's an easy one right there. But
I agree with you.
Yeah, Drew Lock coming back to Seattle after 1 year with the Giants and costing them the number 1 overall pick because he had the game of his life against the Colts. But, I know we got Jalen Milroe as the rookie quarterback, but he's been the third string pretty much all of training camp and the preseason, and it doesn't look like he's going to be the immediate backup to Sam Darnold this year. So Drew, as a backup to Geno Smith a couple of years ago, won a game for Seattle, a must-win game against the Philadelphia Eagles. So Drew's nothing special. We know that's the potential for him to be like this franchise quarterback is probably come and gone. But if something happens to Sam Darnold, I think Drew Lock can win you a game or two depending on the opponent. I think that Drew is that kind of quarterback at this stage of his career.
And Ben, as we're waiting on, I think Bo, I guess he left. Hopefully he's coming back. You just said it. If Matthew, for a reason, we were talking about this offline before we came on, if for whatever reason Matthew Stafford misses time, Stetson Bennett could come in and sling the pill. I mean, I know it's preseason, but he has shown kind of what he can do in this preseason. And after kind of stepping away from football, McVay kind of let him have his space. He comes back, and it seems like he's a much more confident and cerebral quarterback than he was in his rookie year.
I think if Stetson Bennett, and I say this humbly, if Stetson Bennett steps in for a Matthew Stafford, and I know people don't like this, he might not give it back because Stetson Bennett, the only reason why Stetson Bennett ain't getting drafted high is because he's little. Now, I know Kyler Murray's little, right? Kyler Murray won the Heisman, right? Kyler Murray won the Heisman. Brock Purdy isn't the biggest guy. Who has a better college resume, the back-to-back national championships, back-to-back college football playoff MVPs, back-to-back SEC championship MVPs? Stetson Bennett, what is he, 5'10", 5'11", maybe, I don't know. But when you watch him in the preseason, he doesn't miss a beat because I think he's built for the moment. The fact that Jimmy Garoppolo is still getting NFL checks, I just don't know. I really, really don't understand it because you know what you're gonna get with Jimmy. There's nothing wrong with him, but you know what you're gonna get with him. I always go to the backup for this reason. A lot of these guys don't have like injury-prone histories. It's just if they go out, can you keep the train on the track? Because if you can, because I think this division, and listen, Mark and Brett, I don't like the easiest schedule stuff. I don't like stuff like that. The easiest schedule in the NFL. It's the league. Brock Purdy just got his money. Brock Purdy's wanted to prove he's worth his money. And I think for a guy like Kyle Shanahan, and John Lynch, they need this to go right. Because Jimmy Garoppolo, I don't get it. I guess they had to pay him 3 games in New England gets you a $100 million contract extension if you go. But I think for San Francisco, everybody's going to be watching y'all. Obviously, you look at what Stafford and company did last year. Kyler Murray is really, really good when he's really, really good, and he's really, really bad when he's really, really bad. He got to find that in between. I think Marvin Harrison ate a couple, got a couple of carbs in him this year. Look a lot bigger, right, than I've seen in the past. And I just think that this division is going to be one to watch. I always like to know about them backups because, like I said, we know about the stars, but can you play a star role if your number's called? I mean, the Eagles had to do it last year, even though Kenny Pickett, his consolation prize was getting traded to Cleveland. I don't know why they did him like that, but it happens. But yeah, man, the NFC West is always one of my more intriguing divisions because Rams been to 2 Super Bowls, won 1, lost 1. San Francisco's been to 2. Arizona has been to 1. Not with Kyler. They went with Kurt Warner and company. And the Seahawks used to be the talk of the NFC West at one point. We'll see if you guys can, get back to y'all devilish ways of hating each other. It ain't the NFC North now, but y'all do not like each other right in the West. Just want to put that out there.
Yeah, I did look at the schedule though, and I think that this division is going to be tight as a drum. I mean, I think the 49ers might be 10-7, and Seattle 9-8, Rams 9-8, and the Arizona 9-8. I mean, Arizona's likely to get out to a 5-1 start to start the year. But their schedule really kicks in about week 6, and they're probably going to be under 500 at one point after being 5-1. But this is going to be a really, really entertaining year with the way, and whoever stays the healthiest is probably going to win the division. Quarterback.
Indeed.
But I'm sure you're all of those teams. Hell, we were 0-6 in the Durham division last year. 0-6. I don't think in my lifetime we've ever done that. Even with some 2-14
they've done
teams.
it. They've done it.
Well, maybe it was with Seaford.
They got one win. They weren't 0-6. They were 1-5. They beat Seattle in Seattle, which I'm sick of them doing.
I
Yeah.
thought we were 0-6. Okay.
Gino gave the night in the rematch, but that's all we got. 1-5 in the division, but you led in almost, I think, all of those games as they were all like right there, real close, and that's why I expect this division to be. It's going to be a knockdown, drag them out. It's going to be like the old school 15-round heavyweight fights, and it's more like, if you like pro wrestling, it's like a brawl for all. I think it's going to be really close, and it's going to be too close to call those last few weeks of the season. So the importance of these division games, you got to take care of your own business. You got to win the division games first.
Yeah. And Ryan, we're going to help the Panthers out too. We're going to beat the crap out of Tampa and Atlanta.
Whoa! You can do that.
Ben is a Falcons fan, in case everyone did not know.
No. I will say this. If I ever wanted to be a GM, I want to be on the John Lynch GM route. Never coached, never did it. I go straight to the GM. I don't know how he did it, but he did it. And I'm not mad at John Lynch for doing it. Kyle Shanahan and John Lynch are even going to be known for being really, really brilliant, or people going to be saying, dude, because Brock Purdy to me is one of the best stories in football, because when you put a team around a quarterback, he don't got to be the best player. He's not even the best. He don't got to be. But when you get the money, now you have to be. When they give you all that money, now I know you got Fred Warner, and I know you got C-Mac, and I know you got Trent Williams and George Kittle. And I don't know what was going on with George Kittle's wife and the fullback's wife. I don't know what that was about. But now they got to make up real fast. And is the fullback's wife the one that be making like the trench coat little things?
News check.
I don't want a San Francisco one, but I'll take one. I probably can't afford it, but they look pretty dope. I ain't gonna lie, that was pretty dope. You walk around with a trench coat, San Francisco 40, and now all of a sudden, hey man. But I think y'all are gonna be there. I think this division is gonna be intriguing because y'all got everything. See, outside of Seattle looking totally different. I'm talking about y'all went from having everybody. They got rid of everybody that had anything to do with Pete Carroll. Did Pete Carroll draft you? Get out of here. DK, Get out of here. Lockett, get out of here. Gino, get out of here. Now, can Sam Darnold go out there and get it done? With a young QB out of Alabama that can run. We know he can run. Can he throw? We will see. We will see.
Is there a player on your team that you're looking forward to taking the next step this season?
You take it.
You want me?
Yeah.
Well, I was thinking Ricky Pearsall for the 49ers. Easy pick just because, last offseason, probably the worst offseason a player can have, short of dying, getting shot, in training camp. That's a rough start. And he picked it up towards the end of last year. And then if you look at the Niners just roster depth chart, he's the only healthy receiver. So it really is kind of a make or break. He's got the opportunity right in front of him. So I think he can make the most of it based on what they have.
Yeah. And we're going to pay my boy, Juwan Jennings. He's going to get paid and he's going to play really good.
I wouldn't doubt it. I wouldn't doubt it. For the Rams, Ben, who do you got?
I mean, I got it. I think they only gave him a 1-year extension. Approved it. Tutu Atwell. He showed glimpses show it. He's kind of like a, he's a guy that can show a lot of promise, but not consistency. When you know what you got in Puka, obviously Devontae Adams is gonna be going out there to rejuvenate himself. Tutu Atwell could be a guy that can, because they're gonna try to take away Devontae. They're gonna try to double Puka. That means 1-on-1 for Tutu. I think Tutu Atwell got a shot to be really, really good this year.
Yeah, I agree with that.
It looks like Bo's going to be coming back on here soon. It looks like their internet went down. So I'm going to go for him for the Cardinals. I know we just got that contract extension, but I'm going to say Trey McBride. I mean, he got paid, but I want to see him take that further step into like the Kittles of the world, the tight ends, like top 4 tight ends in this league. I'd say he's probably top 10 now of tight ends, but I want to see him take that even next step into the realm. And now that he got his money, and can be that security weapon down the seam for Kyler Murray this season. So I'm going to say that for the Cardinals.
Yeah, I don't want to pick a already established star player. Like I think Devin Witherspoon for the Seahawks is already a star player, and then he just needs the stats to show it. Love watching Spoon play. Under the radar one, and I have to pick a tight end just because Ben's the host here. But AJ Barner, got to watch out for AJ Barner. Seattle also drafted a tight end, Elijah Arroyo out of the University of Miami, but Arroyo and Barner are 2 different kinds of tight ends. Arroyo is kind of like a move tight end. He can be like a big X, and he's kind of like Jimmy Graham also went to the University of Miami, but he can be that kind of receiver. He moves well. He looks like he's got good hands. He's got some good speed to him. But AJ Barner, 2-way tight end. He was known as a blocking tight end when he was at Michigan and Indiana, but then he got drafted by the Seahawks in the 5th round last year and thought, okay, he's going to be Noah Fant's backup. And then suddenly he ends up with 4 touchdowns, 30 catches, 245 yards. That's not setting the world ablaze with amazing stats or anything, but his blocking is actually the thing that he's got to work on more in the NFL. But he's got soft hands. Don't see him dropping many passes. He's going to be, from what I've seen in training camp, and I went to a couple practices this year, somebody who can beat cover 2, be a seam pass option. So I think AJ Barner, not saying he's going to be like a Trey McBride level, certainly not a George Kittle level, but he's going to be somebody that will fly under the radar as like a really, really good tight end who can not just block, but he's also going to be I think to me, a quite heavily utilized player in this offense because Clint Kubiak, new offensive coordinator, at least what we've seen in preseason so far, he loves him some 12 and 13 personnel. He gets the big boys out there. They're an extra offensive lineman to go 2 tight ends or 3 tight ends. So I think that Barner is going to make that big step in year 2 and be an important part of this Seahawks offense.
Got to ask you guys, I mean, obviously, you keep up with your team. What do you find yourself doing more, watching your team or watching what the teams you in your division doing? Because I know being a Falcons fan, not that it's going to matter. I watch what the Panthers do. I watch what Tampa does. I watch, what the Aints are doing, even though they ain't doing much these days. What do you find yourself doing, watching what your team does? Or do you say, oh, man, look who San Francisco just got. Oh, look who Seattle just got. Look who Arizona just got. And is it more draft, preseason, or off-season pickups?
I mean, I always watch what Seattle does just because they're always making moves that just are under the radar, and their new head coach looks what a grab. That guy's awesome. I mean, and the past couple of drafts have been really good. It's just I don't want a Legion of Boone coming back, but they're already building it again. I already see it coming, and that run game is going to be just absolutely disgusting. It's going to be so good. I'm really worried about it, especially when the Niners couldn't stop the run at all last year. They're going to be really strong.
Yeah, I'm a hate watch guy. When it comes to the rivals, like when the Niners lose and the division race is still closer, like when the Niners are in the Super Bowl and they lose, the Seahawks win. That's my feeling. But actually, the Rams to me are Seattle's real biggest rival because they've knocked Seattle out of the playoffs a couple of times now, and both times at home. And early years when the Seahawks were in the NFC West after they moved back, like 2002, Seattle couldn't beat the Rams at all, and they couldn't beat them on the road. And then Jeff Fisher comes along and like these 7-9, 6-10 mediocre Rams teams always gave the Seahawks hell. And now Sean McVay comes and just beats Seattle like a drum year after year after year. But I think they're getting close now. So yeah, most of the time I'm paying attention to my team first and foremost. But when it's game time, I'm going like Rams, please lose. 49ers, please lose. Unless they play a team that Seattle needs to lose. So in other words, sometimes the enemy of your enemy is your friend.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well,
I keep an eye on everybody.
Go ahead.
I'm watching. I'm scouting my whole division, but I tell you, the Arizona's scary. If Arizona puts it together, man, they could be dangerous. They could easily win 10 games. And not saying that'll get anything better than a wild card, but but 10 might win the division. Who knows? But it's going to be very, very competitive.
Well, let's go ahead and get into it here. If you've watched or listened to previous shows, you know how I'm gonna do this. It's gonna be my takes for each of the 4 teams according to the over and under on FanDuel with the win total, and then I'll just go over a key question, a position to watch, a breakout player, and will the team's record be better than 20 or no? Essentially, I'm going to answer that question. So, Ben, let's start with the Rams. And we'll start with the Rams. So my question for the Rams, is their run defense improved? I mean, their defense was a poor match last year for a team like the Eagles. 599 yards in 2 games against Los Angeles last year. LA was 26th in the league per yards allowed per rushing. They signed Poona Ford in the offseason, someone that I think they really did need. So will that running defense be improved? My position to watch is running back. Kyren Williams just got paid with his extension. First Rams running back to receive an extension since Todd Gurley. That was a disastrous contract. We're not going to review that from back in the day. Blake Corum, who has a similar skill set to Kyler Williams, we have seen flashes of him, but we haven't seen the total body of work from him. And then obviously Jarquez Hunter, the rookie that was selected in this year's draft. So a bundle of backs for the LA Rams. That's my position to watch. My breakout player, this is going to sound boring, ladies and gentlemen, but it's going to be Davante Adams. I mean, with Matthew Stafford being healthy, that's the key, obviously, to this. But Davante Adams is going to be someone in this offense with Puka Nacua, Kyren Williams, Tyler Higbee as tight end. Let's not forget about him. And even Jordan Whittington, heck, on the outside. I mean, he's starting to come on last year. So I think Davante Adams is going to be that standout breakout player in this specific scheme that Sean McVay likes to run for the Rams. And then will their record be better than 2024? Yes, I believe it will. Rejuvenated Davante Adams, that continuity along the offensive line, again, if they stay healthy, and that defensive line against the run being improved as well, could all help this team make another Super Bowl run. Do I think they're ultimately going to get to the Super Bowl? That obviously remains to be seen. Rams still a little thin at cornerback after Jalen Ramsey back in the day, obviously departing there. So, and I forgot to mention the over-under, according to FanDuel, 9.5 wins for the Rams. So, yes, I do think they're going to get over that 9.5. So that's my Rams preview.
Do I think their run defense is going to be improved? Yes, because I think it has to be. You in the bottom third in the National Football League in run defense, you're not going to win a lot of games. I don't think they're going to get to 10 wins because I think the health of Matthew Stafford, I think it's a lot worse than they making it. He hasn't done anything. And I'm sorry, the only person that gets better with age is LeBron James. Last time I checked, Matthew Stafford is not LeBron. The only person that's beating up Father Time right now is LeBron. Matthew Stafford has taken a lot of hits. I think all that stuff he dealt with in Detroit is finally starting to come back because he took a beating in Detroit. Came out there with the Rams, won the Super Bowl, but I think his best days are behind him, and I think they're doing a good job of protecting him. I think his health is a lot worse than they making it seem. And he hasn't gotten hit by real NFL players. He get into the season, they're going to be hitting him a lot. I don't think his body's going to hold up. I do like the run game for the Rams. I do like the team for the Rams. I like Davante Adams. He's going to put up big numbers, but it's going to be much to do about nothing. I think this division is going to be rough, and I don't see Matthew Stafford finishing the season. I got him going 7-10, and that's being courteous. That's being really, really gracious of what they're doing. But I don't see them winning 9 games this year. I think last year, I don't see them doing that again. Matthew Stafford can throw it with the best of them, and he's proven that. Can't make the club in the tub, though. Your best ability is availability in the National Football League, and he ain't available. And we don't know how hurt he really is. That injury report for week 1 is going to tell the whole story.
Mm-hmm. One of the questions I asked earlier in the email, I'll just kind of combine this to save some time. Is there a player on the Rams, gentlemen, that you would want on your team? Anyone that sticks out? Doesn't have to be a star player. It could be someone.
Easy. He's a stud. I mean, that guy is insane. put him with Bosa. I mean, unstoppable. That guy is unreal.
Yeah.
That'd be my pick.
I like Puka Nacua.
Puka. Yeah, he's a good one. Mookie, what do you got?
Yeah, because Seattle already has Boye Mafe and Derek Hall, and they're good players. But, man, Jared Verse, he made Teron Armstead say, I retired because of having to deal with you, man. Yeah. Realize how good you have to be already as a rookie. Like, ignore the 4.5 sacks. Like, he got so many pressures. The sacks are going to come. Sacks aren't the be-all, end-all of a good pass rusher. Like, if you can get pressure repeatedly, you're going to be an elite guy. And I think those sacks are coming. And he destroyed the Seahawks in that first game. He made Geno Smith's life miserable. It didn't help the Seahawks had backup tackles, but I'm pretty sure the starters are also going to get ripped anyway. But Puka Nacua, I mean, he is just he's a player you love to root for. And first game of his career was against Seattle. And I'm thinking, all right, Cooper Kupp's out, and this should be a win for the Seahawks. They don't really have anybody receiver. And then Puka Nacua gets over 100 yards and just torches the secondary. And I go, man, this guy how did he fall into the 5th round? So I'm thinking, as much as I like Cooper Kupp, he's kind of up there in age, and receivers after the age of 30 tend not to age gracefully. Like, Cooper ain't Jerry Rice. Nobody is. But I'd love to have a combo of JSN and Puka Nacua. I mean, that would be up there with one of the best receiving duos in the league. Like, I love watching Puka play.
Yeah.
Before I move on to the next team, does anyone have any dying questions about the Rams or anything that you're looking for out of the Rams?
I want to see how Matthew Stafford's back is going to handle Week 1 Houston Texans. And who you're facing? You're facing Will Anderson and Daniil Hunter. I mean, just those two. I didn't even bring up anybody else they got. And D'Amico Ryans and former 49ers DC, he's going to send all sorts of crazy pressures. And Stafford is not the most mobile quarterback in the world. So I'm hoping the best for him with his back. Otherwise, he's going to be doing them sleep number commercials for a long time.
Yeah. Absolutely. No doubt.
Jimmy G, baby.
Yeah, Jimmy G, former 49ers quarterback, obviously also on the roster as well for LA. All right, let's get to Mookie, your Seahawks. 8.5 wins is the over-under according to FanDuel. My question for the Seahawks is this. Very simply, can the offensive line protect Sam Darnold? The quarterback there in Seattle, he knows he has something to prove after that Minnesota amount, 11 sacks, completion percentage of 58 across those final 2 games. Seattle's leaky line, we'll see what happens there. 3 out of their 5 spots, I believe, are settled. Center, right guard are the ones that looks like I think they're going to try to final tune here in the last couple weeks of the preseason. My position to watch, very simply, is quarterback. With Sam Darnold, even in that 1 year, $37 million that he signed, Jalen Milroe could be their starter come next year if Sam Darnold does not hit the ground running, so to speak. I mean, obviously, I think they would be dumb not to put Milroe in as certain packages, obviously, especially maybe on 3rd down specifically, but we'll see what happens there. So my position to watch is quarterback. My breakout player is going to be someone on the defense. How about linebacker Tyrese Knight? Someone who is top 5 in opponents' points per game, points per drive, defensive expected points added per play back last year. He was a 2024 4th-round pick, 8.1 tackles last season per game. His snap count skyrocketed towards the end of the season. So my breakout player is Tyrese Knight on that defense. And then will their record be better than 2024? Tune in 2 weeks for our official predictions here on Winning the Division, where we're going to go through all the standings for every single NFL team, go all the way to the Super Bowl, predict everything. But I'm going to say maybe. I don't know if they're going to get to 8.5 wins. I hope they do. I know some 49er fans don't, but I'm hoping they get to – I think they're going to get to 8 wins. I don't know if they're going to get to 8.5, though. I got to see it to believe it. Seattle's one of those teams I'm not 100% sure what they're going to look like. And so, Mookie, you can kind of fill us in a little bit more than me. But essentially, like Brett, you were saying, this team is built on defense to stop anyone. And the run game should be improved thanks to Kubiak. If they can keep Darnold clean, this team could lead to some playoff noise, could surprise down the stretch. I think, Mookie, I said this a couple of weeks ago. Kenneth Walker is not Christian McCaffrey or Saquon Barkley. However, he's up in like the top 5, in my opinion, as far as like dangerous running backs throughout the – I mean, he can one cut and he's gone. He is an explosive guy. He has to stay healthy, of course. But Kenneth Walker is good just about the rest of the running backs in the National Football League.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Kenneth Walker, his issue has been injuries. He's missed time every year of his career, and he's missed a fair bit of training camp with a sore foot, and they want to be cautious of that. But based on what we see in the two preseason games, 268 yards rushing. I know the Chiefs were playing backups most of the way, but still, the Seahawks would go games. You could go 3 games in the regular season and not get 268 yards total. Like, that's how bad the running game has been the last couple of years. It's not because Kenneth Walker's a bad running back or Zach Charbonnet's a bad running back. It's because the offensive line has been a right this way. It's a turnstile. And so far, new coaching staff on the offensive side of the ball, new offensive line coach John Benton, who was with the 49ers at one point. This zone blocking scheme seems to suit the Seahawks offensive line better. And with Gray Zabel at left guard, looking like a promising rookie thus far, first-round pick. We'll see about center, whether Jalen Sundell wins the starting job over Olu Oluwatimi, who's hurt. And then right guard might be the weak spot, but Anthony Bradford, who was the butt of jokes last year because of all the penalties and blown blocks before he got hurt. He's looked good in preseason too. So I don't have high expectations of a deep playoff run for the Seahawks or anything, but if this offensive line can pass protect, if they can run block well, that means Sam Darnold doesn't have to do as much, because let's face it, as well as Sam Darnold played last year, some of that is also he had JJ, he had Addison, and he had Hawkins at the back end of the year. JSN and Kupp and Barner and Arroyo, and Barner was a 4th-round pick, not 5th-round pick, like I said earlier. They're good. They're not Justin Jefferson and Addison and Hawkinson. So I think that the Seahawks, their playoff fate and their win total depends on the offense, because I think this defense is still going to be very good. It might even be great if they clean up a couple of things with their play action and stopping teams on early downs. But this offense, if they can run the ball well, do some old school ball control, kind of like they used to do in the old Legion of Boom Pete Carroll days, and hit some explosive plays with Sam Darnold so he doesn't have to throw 40 times a game, then the Seahawks team could be at least a tricky out for most of the NFL. That schedule is it's not easy by any means, but again, it's the NFL. There are no easy games, even when you're playing the worst teams. As the Seahawks knew, they lost to the Giants last year. So I'm hyped to see what this Seahawks team can do under year 2 of Mike McDonald.
But Mookie, how impressed were you in year 1? Because the whole thing, people can say what you want about Pete Carroll. Did he have a rah-rah type culture there? Did he have more of a college culture? It worked. Whatever you want to call it, it worked. You bring in a guy like Coach McDonald, who sometimes it's not the guy, it's the guy you coming behind. When you come behind a guy like Pete Carroll, I mean, he had Seattle a contender every year, 12th man, all these different things. How impressed were you in year 1 when you're replacing a guy like Pete Carroll to say, look, this is what I'm doing now. I got Geno. And can he keep that going with all the guys that was helping him do that in year 1 essentially are gone? You started with Sam Darnold. Can he do that in year 2, what he did in year 1 with unusual suspects, if you want to call them?
Yeah, I thought McDonald did an all right job. At those first few weeks, the defense was rough. And as much as I love Pete Carroll, I think his downfall the last few years is that the defense used to be the calling card. Then after the Legion of Boom broke up, those defenses were pretty bad. And then midway through the season with Mike McDonald, he said both linebackers are gone. He cut Tyrell Dotson. He traded Jerome Baker for Ernest Jones. And Ernest Jones has been a revelation for the Seahawks, former Rams linebacker, and now he's going to be one of the starters for Seattle alongside Tyree Snipe. But the second half of the year, the Seahawks played like a top 10 defense. They weren't as good against some of the better teams, so they're going to have to fix that. Like, you want to prove you're elite, you're going to have to beat some of the best teams or at least shut them down. But I think it was a big boy move to fire Ryan Grubb, the offensive coordinator, because Grubb, I don't think was the main hire. I don't think he was the main target for John Schneider, the GM, and McDonald to be the guy leading the offense. But just because you're great in college as a coordinator doesn't mean that you can easily go into the NFL and succeed, because two different sports. I mean, the hash marks are different, just for starters. The spacing's so different. And it felt like Grubb was falling short under those circumstances. So, yeah, a lot of changes. There's going to be growing pains. Like, it's not super easy to replace your starting quarterback. Geno, I think, was better than he was given credit for and that his stats showed. It's just that, he was going to cost quite a bit of money, and 34 is 34. And not a lot of quarterbacks are aging like fine wine. They don't age, as you said, they don't age like LeBron James, and they don't age like Tom Brady. So there might have been that risk as far as keeping Geno around. But Sam Darnold replacing Geno, you got Cooper Kupp kind of replacing DK Metcalf. You've got changes on the offensive line. You got new coach, offensive coordinator. You got a new offensive line coach. There are a lot of changes. So far, from what I've seen in person, they look like a different unit. They're running way more under center stuff than they did in years past. So it's going to look a little more like old school. We even got a fullback, like Kyle Juszczyk, the fullback. I love watching Kyle Juszczyk play, but Robbie Oots is going to be a fan favorite for the Seahawks, just like Max Strong was back in the day. So I'm liking year 2 Mike McDonald. I think he's kind of asserting himself a little more and showing a little bit more personality. But it's a prove-it year. It's a prove-it year for Mike as a coach, and also a prove-it year for Sam Darnold that last year wasn't a fluke, or wasn't like Nick Foles in 2013 where you get like 26 touchdowns and 2 picks, and then a second fluke happened in the Super Bowl run. But after that, it's like everything else wasn't great. So it's a prove it for Sam Darnold, because if it doesn't work out, Jalen's lurking.
Okay.
Anything else from the gallery before I move on to our next team? Nope. Okay. All right. Well, Mark and Brett, I've made you wait long enough. So let's go to the 49ers. I'm not sure if we're going to get Bo back. I might have to do the Cardinals without him. Well, unfortunately, he had a internet issue, so we'll have to see there. But we'll go to the 49ers. 10.5 wins is the over-under according to FanDuel. So my question for the 49ers, can Robert Saleh, the homeboy coming back down to Santa Clara, can he return that defense to dominance? I mean, he was dominant there as defensive coordinator. You've been through DeMeco Ryans, Steve Wilkes, Daniel Sorensen, I believe, last year, among others. I fell last year in points allowed. Yards allowed, 29th in points allowed. But the awful special teams unit last year, defense ability to stop the run, 9 to week 18. Rotation of injuries, inexperienced coordinators obviously didn't help things. But Saleh returns back from his 2017 to 2020 era there. And so we'll see what happens there. But my key question is Robert Saleh. Position to watch, I think it's obvious. It's going to be receiver. Deebo Samuel's in Washington. Brandon Ayuk's not going to be ready for training camp or probably the regular season. Demarcus Robinson might be suspended. Juwan Jennings has the contract. Ricky Pearsall, you mentioned taking a next step. He could be a breakout player to watch. There's sophomore Jacob Cowing, who was praised by Kyle Shanahan throughout OTAs. And then you have Jordan Watkins, 4th-round pick from this past draft, who brought Purdy said he popped. So my position to watch is receiver among some other positions. But if I had to pick one, it's going to be receiver. My breakout player for the 49ers is someone, Mark and Brett, as diehard fans, you probably know who this is. Linebacker D. Winters. Sam Saleh said he has been very impressive. One of the league's fastest linebackers. He spent a 3rd-round pick on the linebacker this year for a competition. But I like D. Winters. I think he's going to be a standout next to Fred Warner. They need someone to place Greenlaw, who's now in Denver. I think Winters can step up and be that guy. And then will their record be better than 2024? Abso-freaking-lutely. This schedule is so easy. I know you don't want to say that, and I know the players don't view it like that, but I've got this team winning 11 games, maybe even 12. I think they can definitely get over the 10.5 for sure. So that's my 49ers preview.
All right. I agree.
He's got his little notepad here with all the schedule on it.
The Seahawks have an easy schedule down the stretch. They play home against Indy, home against the Rams, at Carolina, at San Fran. But they can win both those home games, I think.
I mean, Ryan, with Saleh coming back, he immediately came in and then dictated the draft. I mean, the first 5 picks were defensive guys, all in a row. They got 3 D linemen, 1st round, 3rd round, 4th round. They're just loading up. They're just trying to get back to stopping the run like the old days. And it's necessary. I mean, you mentioned it, pretty much worst in run. Yards per carry, they were pretty much almost dead last. Special teams, they fired their coordinator, can only go up from there, going last in the league to league average would be better. But, a lot of things went wrong last year, but not saying it, would all go right, but as long as I'm just asking for average. And I think Shanahan can coach an average team to 10 wins in his sleep, but that's asking for a healthy McCaffrey and an offensive line that can actually block, which as far as I can see, I don't know if they can do that. They're just going to have to try to make it through as many games as they can. What do you think, Mark?
Yeah, I think it's going to take Salah half the year to get us in top shape, and then hopefully injuries won't hurt us in that regard. But if injuries bite us, then maybe we won't get in top shape. But I think Salah's that's what he does best, is build defenses, and so I think the defense will be fine. Just give us at least 8-9 games to
let the rookies
get in,
figure it out
season. But I'm hopeful. I'm like you, Brian. I think 11 wins is very doable. A little bit of luck, maybe 12 or 13. But
it's the NFL. Any given Sunday, they can show up. Niners are prone to not come ready sometimes and just get completely embarrassed. But
Let me ask a quick question. Between McCaffrey and then Trent Williams, who is more vital? I think I know the answer, but who is more vital to your team's success this year?
It's kind of a loaded question. I'd honestly, I think I would go Trent Williams over McCaffrey, just because the way Shanahan can plug and play running backs. Not to say McCaffrey's not important, but I mean, Trent Williams, that just blindside Garden Brock. I mean, he's the best offensive lineman we have by tenfold. And when he goes down, it's noticeable.
There's a gap.
It is a turnstile. They have no depth, and it'll be a long season if Trent gets hurt.
But our boy Moody has got his head on straight after making 5 out of 6 field goals.
Oh, we're talking kickers now.
Before you go, Ben, I did not do this for Seattle, so I'll combine. Is there a player on the Seahawks, Mark and Brett, that you would like? And Mookie, is there a player on the 49ers that you would like on the Seahawks?
You know anyone on the Seahawks, Mark?
Yeah, they still have that good wide receiver, that tall guy. What's his name?
No, he's on the Steelers.
What?
I know.
To my DK.
I write insurance. I work 50 hours a week. I get bugged to death from from sun up to sundown. But,
I mean, JSN would be an easy. On the Niners, just they need. I mean, he's an awesome receiver, dynamic. I think being the number one this year, it's his time to step up, and I think he's really going to turn a lot of heads in the league, because he's shown it last year that when he got opportunities, he really made the most of it. That's who I would go with.
Yeah. I mean, that's a great call. I mean, not often we could say that about Seattle's receivers being wanted by San Francisco, because the Niners have had them some receivers over the years in Shanahan's offense and then in decades past. But for me, it's got to be Fred Warner, top middle linebacker in the game. And he played like half the year on a broken ankle, and he was still making
crazy. Absolutely
crazy. He's different. He's a My question for the 49ers is, I know y'all dealt with injuries last year. This year, I mean, I think Keanu Reeves, he played in this movie called The Replacements. Y'all replacing a lot. I'm talking about Dre Kinlaw, starting safety, gone. Starting linebacker, gone. Starting cornerback, gone. Slot receiver, gone. I get it. No team is going to look the same year in and year out. No team. But the 49ers, Dre Kinlaw was, I'm still thinking about him running on the field in the Super Bowl and going out and just looking at Fred, one of those guys. Now both him and his tag team partner down there in Denver. Debo Samuel had a really, really good year and started looking real normal after that year. So I don't know how much y'all going to miss him or not.
Right.
But the guys that got to fill in, I get it. I get it. You can't replace a Trent Williams. I don't care who you are. You just can't. But the fact that you guys are replacing a lot, and you guys aren't replacing just good players. You're talking about all pro. Ward is, he's about as good as a cornerback. He ain't a top 5 cornerback, but top 10, you can put him on an island and just leave him. I can take away a team's number 1 receiver. How you guys feel about you guys' replacements this year? Even if Fred Warner is healthy, who's the quarterback on the defense, and you bring back C-Mac, you bringing back George Kittle, you bringing back hopefully healthy Trent Williams. But how you guys feel about you guys' replacements this year?
It obviously is a ton of guys to fill in there and fill those spots, because they have so many rookies on the defense. But I think it's going to be I mean, bringing Salah back was probably the key just to help them get on track. And I mean, even with those guys on defense last year, they were still bottom third, bottom 5 in the league in a lot of run categories. So it didn't seem to help them much when they couldn't stop the run. It made guys like Ward invisible because they're just throwing the ball, throwing it short or running them all over them, and when you have to load the box with 10 guys, it just makes it really tough. But, I agree with you. It's a lot of young guys just stepping in and trying to make a difference. So it'll probably take them a good half the year. Or if not, it might be a long year, but it's what they got. They had to do a roster reset with all that money going to Brock, and we'll see.
It was Brock, George, and Fred.
Yeah.
So Brock, Fred Warner, George Kittle. I think our fullback got a new deal. He didn't get a monster deal, but they did bring it back. They did bring it back.
They cut him and then brought him back.
Yeah. All right. We'll
and
see.
then Bo sends his apologies. He had some internet stuff, so he's not going to be coming back. So I'm going to go ahead and do the Cardinals. Here's what I got for the Cardinals: 8.5 wins. FanDuel over under is 8.5. My question is going to be this defense. Walter Nolan, I loved that draft pick from Ole Miss. You got Will Johnson, corner from Michigan. They quietly finished top 12 in points scored in total yards last year, but their defense was very average. But the defense draft was very good, as I mentioned, with Nolan and Johnson, adding Calais Campbell, the ageless wonder, Josh Sweat from the Eagles, and then Dalvin Tomlinson. This defense looks a lot different. My position to watch is quarterback. If you've heard me on this podcast at any point in time, boys, I don't think I'm underselling this. Kyler Murray is the number one quarterback, in my opinion, for 2025, where he needs a very good season or he is going to be gone from Arizona after this year. I think he very well could be somewhere else. He said he wants to run the ball a little more. His knee's going to be a little more stable after that. Now 2 years removed from that injury. He was career highs last year in QBR and passing success rate. But if he can get back to that level, I think he can be back in the Pro Bowl discussion. We'll see. But he needs a very big season, in my opinion, if he doesn't want to be shipped out of the desert. My breakout player for the Cardinals is Marvin Harrison Jr. I thought he was a stud coming out of Ohio State. He had a disappointing rookie year, in my opinion, topping 100 receiving yards just twice last year. Not good enough, obviously, for people who back to Ohio State, whereas they were labeling him as this generational receiver. And, of course, that's before we all saw Jeremiah Smith, who we all think is going to be ultra generational, but that's 2 years down the road for him. Harrison targeted for just 21.5% of his routes, but I think Drew Pretzing, the offensive coordinator there, is going to be able to force feed him the ball. I think he's going to do well there. And then, do I think their record's going to be better than 2024? I struggle with this one because I want to say yes, and at least I think they can go 9-8. But if this defense is disappointing again, I don't think it's going to be better than 9 and 8.5. I think it's going to be more like 7 or even 8. So we'll see what happens there. My gut tells me yes, but I might be going no. Again, in 2 weeks I'll have my official division predictions. But I think a 10-win season ultimately is in reach for the Cardinals. Because each year they've doubled their win total under Gannon, so that would be doing that again this year. This division obviously is competitive, and with the Cardinals being ultimately competitive, Mark, like you said, all 4 teams could win this division if Arizona starts to play to their potential.
Yeah. I mean, I like Arizona. I think my breakout player is going to be the guy that nobody wants to give a lot of credit to, who's been shutting down Marvin Harris. That would be Will Johnson. I have seen him some this year. This guy was a steal. I mean, he had some injury history coming out of Michigan. I mean, they talked about him as being a potential Heisman Trophy candidate going into this last season in college, but he had some injury concerns. He failed him. I think he's going to be a stud, a guy that just will not retire and keep. Calais Campbell is back in Arizona. He's still playing football at a very, very high level. And Calais, if you don't like what I'm saying, I don't want no smoke with you, sir. I'm just doing it. I don't want no problems with Calais Campbell. But no, here's the thing about Arizona, right? You want to feel good about Arizona, but you try not to say it. It's Arizona. You try your best not to say it. Kyler Murray is a coach killer because he's had a lot of coaches and they all gotten fired. He's gotten every last one of them fired because he's good enough to win, but he's not getting it done. And it don't matter what the defense is doing. It don't matter what he got in Marvin Harrison. It's going to come down to number one. And he's really, really good. He doesn't have that in between. And I don't get it. I think it has a lot more to do with the division that he's in and how he plays. If Arizona plays well, everybody will be surprised, including Arizona. Everybody will. And if they don't, it's not because they're not a good team. You have to build your team to be the best team in the division or beat the best team in the division. I don't think they've done either. Because like I said, I think when you talk about this division as a whole, Brock Purdy, you know what you're getting with him. When he's healthy, Matt Stafford, you know what you're getting with him. Sam Darnold had an outlier year. I think a lot of people would rather have Sam Darnold than Kyler Murray, not because they don't think Sam Darnold is better than Kyler Murray. Sam Darnold is trustworthy, and Kyler Murray is not. And if I don't trust what you're going to do week in and week out, he's very listen. I hate to say it. Everybody say that Kyler Murray looks like a toddler when you're trying to take a roll from him when he's scrambling. He's a great football player. If you look at his career, but he's not great when you need him to be great. He has great moments. I'm going to be watching, but like I said, Kyler Murray will do something great, and then he'll fumble the ball scrambling. Nobody will touch it. The ball will just come out of his hand, and you're like, we'll see. But, when you're making as much money as he's making, I still think he got a lot of good years. I just think Kyler Murray is one of those guys. Good quarterback, wrong team. And until he proves me wrong, I'm going to have to see that. But I will be watching those guys. Okay.
Is there a player on the Cardinals you would take on your team?
Oh, man. But he's getting a little old now, but I love Buda Baker. He was
Buda's still getting it done. Buda's still getting it done.
Yeah, that's a good one.
He was a hawk.
Mm-hmm. UW zone Buda Baker. And Seattle could have drafted him. They took Malik McDowell, and then he had an ATV accident and never played it down for us. So that's what could have been. Could have been Buda Baker instead of the safeties that the Seahawks drafted a couple of years in a row. But I know that he's 38 years old or something like that. I would love to have Calais Campbell on my team, even in 2025, so we could stop sacking Seahawks quarterbacks, because he's been in the league since 2008. Seattle has had, I think, four franchise quarterbacks or four, regular starters during that time. They've had Matt Hasselbeck. They've had Tavares Jackson in that 1 year in 2011. They had Russell Wilson all those years, and then they had Geno Smith. Calais Campbell has sacked all of them against Seattle. And now you get Sam Darnold. If he sacks him, it's like he's sacking Seahawks quarterbacks for more than half my life. Like, enough, man. He is one of my favorite players to watch, except when he's playing my team. So yeah, of course Arizona's got some talent. They got they got Buda Baker, as you said. You got Marvin Harrison Jr. I think is going to have a better year, but a lot of that is on Kyler Murray, and he's like I think Kyler, as Ben said, is a very good football player, but he's kind of like a guy that you appreciate through YouTube highlights more than the actual game itself. Like, over the course of a game, he doesn't look as good as the highlights, if that makes sense. So another dude that is also somebody I'm a fan of is James Conner, because he's just like a throwback, bully you and run you into the ground type of running back that I think that really all of our teams would appreciate. But since Calais is the one that's haunted me forever, I got to pick Calais.
All right. Yeah.
Ben, as we wind down here, a few more questions to go. But as we wind down here, why don't you hit them with your 4 C's like you like to do?
Oh yeah. So when it comes to every division, I think every division is broken down to the 4 C's. You got the culture, concern, curious, and the constant. I think the best culture in this division is the Rams. It used to be San Francisco. I think the best culture, because I look at the culture like this: quarterback, head coach, team. Well, Sean McVay went to 2 Super Bowls, won 1, lost 1. He got his quarterback, even though he got a bad back. And I just think they're very, very consistent. The constant is the 49ers. Y'all are the one. We know what we're getting with the 49ers, and when they don't live up to expectations, it's always outliers, injuries, play calling. But y'all are the one constant to where we know what the 49ers are going to be. They just got to go out there and prove it. The team I'm curious about, Mookie, is your Seattle Seahawks. I'm very curious to see. I like what Coach McDonald did in year 1. Can I do it with a new quarterback? I'm bringing back a lot of guys that's going to help me get that culture going. But I want to see, was the first year just a feel good moment, flash in the pan? Hey man, but or can we go out there and keep it done with a guy? Because Sam Darnold, he plays well. We talking about another extension. If he does what he did in 2024 and 2025. I'm sorry, listen, Drew Lock and those guys, they're going to be playing for backup snaps, which there's nothing wrong with making $5 million a year for 10 years, people. That's $50 million last time I checked. I can count. I'm just telling y'all. Right. But, and the team I'm concerned about is the Cardinals for everything we just said. Kyler Murray can do it, but he hasn't done it. Kyler Murray has 115 career touchdowns, 57 picks. That's a really, really good interception ratio. Problem is the wins, the losses is bad. And the thing about Arizona is I'm not looking for a second-year receiver to take me to the promised land. I like Marvin Harrison. He is not Jamar Chase. He is not Justin Jefferson. He ain't even Puka Nacua at this point in his career. I know he got bigger, but listen, the defensive coordinator got a full year to watch you. So he gotten bigger, but yeah. Did he get faster? Did he come out of his routes and different things? But I do the 4 C's every week, like I mentioned. The Rams got the culture. I'm concerned about the Cardinals. I'm curious about the Seahawks. And that one confidence, the 49ers, I think the reason why winning the division is called what it's called is when I was in the National Football League, they said, look, you're either winning a division or you're just in the division. And if you don't win it, you got to wait on everybody else to help you get in the division. And I played in the AFC South when they had this bum named Peyton Manning. So we're not going to beat them. I mean, we just weren't. I mean, there go Marvin Harrison Sr., there go Reggie Wayne, there go Dallas Clark. So basically we're playing for second, maybe third. This division this year, it's anybody's division. Whoever gets hot, whoever stays hot, who doesn't get injured. And that's what I think makes y'all division so intriguing is Pete Carroll got the whole world rooting for Seattle. Coach McDonald got it. Got to just keep it going. 49ers, y'all got so much tradition. I mean, from Candlestick Park, now y'all in Santa Clara, Levi Stadium. Yeah. It's the 49ers, right? Arizona, outside of Kurt Warner and Larry Fitzgerald, and ain't much to talk about. And they should have won that Super Bowl. Thanks a lot, Pittsburgh. So now they're going back to what they were. And now, and when you and like I said, I mean, when you get to talking about the Rams, I like Matthew Stafford, but sometimes you gotta walk away. And I'm not saying he's gonna do that, but when your back starts bothering you, that's a human problem. You just happen to be a football player. Well, I don't know how bad it is, but that first game, watch how many closed fists be punching him in the back. Well, they're gonna be doing that stuff. If I know you got an ailment, I'm punching you in the back. If the ref don't say nothing, and no, ref, I'm just patting him on the back. I'm just patting him with my fists every play I can. But I am looking forward to this division, fellas. I think it's going to be one to watch. I would not be surprised if y'all had 3 teams make the playoffs. I would not be surprised at all. And hey, man, you know, listen, there will be nothing better than an NFC Championship game with division rivals. Hey, man, I will pay money for that. Yeah.
What is your prediction on how the team's going to do this year? You don't have to give a record. It can just be generally speaking, or you can give a record, if you want to.
You want for Arizona?
I'll say, my loose prediction on here, I'll say Arizona goes to 8-9. What do you got for the Rams?
Man, the Rams, I would say, I say 10. I say 10-7. I say they'll go 10-7. I think for Arizona, man,
I agree with the Rams 10-7. I agree with that.
The Cardinals 7-10. I think they're going to be. I think it's going to be exciting, but teams play hard as long as they have something to play hard for. Once it's not really going anywhere, they're going to be trying to fight to stay healthy. And yeah, I'm sold on the Cardinals. I'm just. If they weren't in this division, I would be more sold on them. But, hey, man, 49ers, they got a, quote, easy schedule. Seattle got year 2 under Coach McDonald. The Rams got the culture. And unfortunately, you know, what they say, man, you know, think about a house, you got a roof and a ceiling. I think, you got a roof and you got a floor and a ceiling. I think when I'm Arizona, they holding the whole division up. The problem is they bottom feeders. And I got to see it. Love Kyler Murray. But I think, like you are, Smitty, I think his last days in Arizona are coming to an end. I don't know how Mookie and Mark and Brett gonna think about that, but he's only 28 years old. It feels like he's like 40 years old. He's only 28, but he's been there so long. You're like, dang, he's only 28. That's the old. He might be the oldest 28-year-old in the league with everything he's had to deal with. But hey, man, it's the Cardinals, man. I mean, when the Cardinals made the Super Bowl, people was like, what? Like the Cardinals made the Super Bowl. And it was a great Super Bowl, but it was a great Super Bowl. But nah, man. I mean, Cardinals making the Super Bowl. If the Cardinals make the Super Bowl, they probably gonna beat. Well, no, they can't play the Dallas Cowboys because they both in the NFC. I don't want to live in a world to where the Dallas Cowboys win anything. So if the Arizona got to win it, bring it home, people. Bring it home. I don't want to live with. I've been with them 90s teams. I don't want. I got too many Cowboys fans in my family. That's a terrible way to live life, man. If Dallas, we need to come together to make sure Dallas does. I don't think they will, but I'm just saying we don't want that to happen. We don't want that.
What do you got, fellas? What's your prediction for the season?
I think the Niners will be 11-6.
Got the same, and I think they're gonna growing pains along the way. Like even though they have the easy schedule, they'll have a few bumps in the road where you're just like, you think they're rolling, and then they'll face some team, and you're like, what the heck is that? And it's like that one weird game, and then they'll.
You mean like the Panthers, right? I'm just kidding.
I hope not.
Yeah.
Well, McCaffrey might forget how to play against us.
Oh, Brian, it'll be the revenge game of the year. You'll be loving every second of it.
Yeah.
Well, for McCaffrey, I will be. Not for the Panthers. I will be loving it for McCaffrey. I'm a big McCaffrey fan. 49ers or Panthers, I'm a big fan.
That'll be a good game.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm a McCaffrey fan. 15 out of 17 games of the season. It's just those two where I'm going. Please don't hurt us. No 70-yard runs in the first play of the game anymore. I said it several months ago, and I still feel this way now. I think the Seahawks are going to be 11-6, which is one win better than last year, but they're going to beat some good teams this year instead of relying on beating the worst teams of the league like they did for much of last season. I think that the division is going to come down to the final week. Whether it's Seattle and San Francisco or Seattle and the Rams, I think Arizona's not quite there yet because all the other teams, Seattle's got, top 10 guys at some positions, and same with San Francisco and same with the Rams. I don't really see it with Arizona other than maybe Trey McBride and Budda Baker, but like at the key positions that help you win the most, I don't think that they have that extra quality in them. But for the Seahawks, I think that Darnold is good without being great, but good enough. Running game improves. Defensive line for Seattle is going to get pressure. Shout out to Big Cat, Leonard Williams. Byron Murphy going to have that second-year leap. Secondary with Nicky Manwari added to the fold as a do-it-all safety hybrid linebacker. I think this defense is going to make some big steps, but I also think that because Darnold is not an elite quarterback, or at least I don't think he is, that's going to hold them back from making some super deep playoff run. But I wouldn't be shocked to Seattle and San Francisco end up playing against each other in the playoffs, like as a wild card matchup, one way or another. It's going to be tight. And the one thing with the Rams, more than the 49ers, is Stafford's back. Stafford's back is gone. If it's like Tony Romo and Dak Prescott, I don't think that they've got it in them to make a great run with Jimmy Garoppolo, quarterback. They might have to go to Stetson Bennett and figure out if Stetson really can turn preseason into regular season. But I think that the Seahawks can finally end that division drought this year. Yes, am I being a homer? Heck yeah, I'm being a homer. But I'm also not so much of a homer that I'm going, this team's going to go 14-3, win the Super Bowl, all that. No, this is going to come right down to the wire. And I'm looking forward to it. I say I'm looking forward to it now, but I'm going to lose a lot of sleep during the season.
You guys don't know pain. I'm a Falcons fan. Y'all don't know pain. What are you talking about, man? I literally say this every week. I say, y'all be coming in here saying, yeah, man, y'all talking about real football teams. They got real tradition. Y'all been to back-to-back Super Bowls. Mookie won. We should have been. We all know you should have went 2-0. I was living in Jersey at the time. And I got people ordering pizza for the Super Bowl, and I went and got it. Missed the Super Bowl trying to get pizza. I'll never forgive those people for that. I'm just telling y'all don't know pain. I talk trash to people, say, "Who your team?" The Falcons, and I just walk off. We know. 28-3, we know. But I'm just saying it's but no, I'm gonna keep saying this. The NFC West is real similar to the AFC West. Y'all have a dislike for each other. Like, people don't talk about it enough. People think, hey, man, do they like each other in the NFC? No. Arizona, they talk loud. No one really cares, but they say stuff. But Seattle, the Rams, and 49ers, it's beautiful to watch when y'all playing good football, man, because y'all got the coaches, y'all got the GMs, y'all got the fan base, y'all got the players, y'all got the tradition, y'all got everything. So, hey, man, if Kyler Murray end up winning this division, I apologize to everybody on this panel. I really do, because I just don't see that. I like Kyler Murray. At a certain point, you are what the film says you are, and so far, that's what it says, regardless of who we got around.
It means he'll have watched winning the division because he heard me talking about him so many times to step up and finally do something, or he's going to get shipped out of the desert. So I mean,
you know what? You're right. You know what, Kyler? You shouldn't like what I say, and you should come on here and defend yourself. Don't let me say this about you. Come on here and defend yourself, Kyler. And if he does, I'm gonna tell everybody, Cam Newton, any one of y'all quarterbacks want to come on here and defend yourself. Listen, and Jimmy Garoppolo and Kirk Cousins got the best agents in football. People, they've made more money to do. I'm just saying, I ain't mad at either one. I'm just Emmanuel Sanders almost made Jimmy Garoppolo a Super Bowl MVP. I'm just telling y'all. That was crazy. That was crazy.
Yeah. Close.
All right. Well, I got one last one. I didn't email this to you. I thought I always like bringing this question up, and I always like the responses. That I get. What is something that we're not talking enough about within this division? It can be your team specifically, or just within this division. What's something that the national media is not saying? A lot of podcasts aren't talking about it, but since they know, like the burning, what is something that we're not talking about enough in this division?
Gosh, that's a tough question. I don't know.
You got anything, Mark?
No. The best team in the West is Denver. How's that?
Yeah, like the
I mean, there are people. If we're gonna go AFC West, there are people out there who say that if Kansas City makes the playoffs as a wild card and they don't win the division, is that like a upset, or is that like almost expected at this point? Because the dynasty at some point's got to end. Denver's rising. And but that number one defense, they're poised to take that next step. But
that's my stepsister team. That's my number 2 team this year, Denver.
So NFC. So you have a secondary team. Like, listen, if it ain't the 49ers, I can go over here to Denver. I root for those guys. I'm gonna tell you what they're kind of talking about it. If John Lynch and Kyle Shanahan don't make a deep run this year, they're gonna break them up together, or somebody's gonna have to go. It's either gonna be John Lynch or Kyle Shanahan.
Hold on, Brett, Mark, do you agree? Yes.
Yeah, I agree.
I think they got a longer leash than that, but it'll be interesting if they don't make the playoffs this year, or if they go first round exit. There'll be some answers, some questions for.
Yeah, I think there'll be some changes if they don't make the playoffs. There's definitely changes, or if they're just one and done. I think somebody's gonna lose their job.
If you go to an introductory press conference for any GM or head coach, right? They're talking about certain stuff, and when you go to the exit one, they're saying the same stuff. Yeah, we used to like his energy. They hire you for the same reason why they fire you, because when it's working, it's working. I kept saying this about Patrick Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes. Tell every quarterback, don't watch Patrick Mahomes play, because you can't do no-look passes. You can't do that stuff. But it worked. In the Super Bowl, he did a cardinal sin. He rolled to the right and he threw back left. What happened? Pick 6. You can't do that stuff. When it comes to John Lynch and Kyle Shanahan, when it's rolling, it's rolling. I mean, anybody know Kyle Shanahan going to get a head coaching job? Like when Sean McVay was winning, if you was on his coaching tree, if you went to high school with him, hire him. But when it's not going well, they're not going to blame. They're going to blame the players last. They're going to blame the decision makers first, which John Lynch is a good GM. But if it doesn't work, because Jimmy G has earned every cent. I just think that what happens is in a division, like when you start narratives like the easiest schedule, fans hear that and go, they're supposed to win. Because there is no easy win. The NFL is not easy. Right. What? I don't care who you playing. You can play the Browns every week. Now, you're going to probably beat them more times than not, but they're going to beat you sometimes, right? Detroit is a contender now. We can't even talk trash about Detroit anymore. So, I mean, I don't know. I'm never calling for anybody to get fired. I think to be in these positions is difficult. I think having familiarity at the GM head coach position, the best teams have that. They got a good head coach, been around, good quarterback, been around, good GM, been around. I think San Francisco got that. But because of what your Seattle Seahawks did in year one, because people will forget about the injuries when the team's around you. And we are a drive away from the Rams going to the Super Bowl. They almost beat the Eagles. It just didn't happen. That's when they started looking around like, hey, man, this dude like 50 years old. He almost went to the Super Bowl, John, Kyle. So, hey, y'all going to be intriguing. And like I say, I can You know, I got friends that are 49ers fans. Seattle, y'all, that's the longest flight on the planet. I don't care what team playing them, except West Coast teams. No, man, y'all gonna have a lot to go off of this year. Being a Falcons fan, man, is rough. God, man, y'all don't get it, man. I live in Atlanta, and they talk about the Panthers every day. They do. You know why? Because last year, do you know that the Falcons beat Tampa twice last year? Kirk Cousins has 9 touchdowns, 0 picks, and we didn't make the playoffs. You know what really kept us out? The Panthers. They beat us the last game of the season, and this guy named Bryce. He threw a touchdown pass, and he did this pirouette thing. He like threw it and turned around, and I had to lie and tell Smitty that I didn't see it, and he sent me the clip. I saw it, man. But no, man, I think the NFL is back. Football is back. The best variety of football is played on Saturday. The best players in the world play on Sunday. Hey, man, I don't know. Everybody got black uniforms now. I mean, Mark's sitting here with the black, with the red.
Navarro Bowman.
Oh, Navarro Bowman. Oh, wow.
Okay. Oh, hey, listen, the Navarro Bowman is the future. When people talk about tandems in the National Football League, you will not find love Thomas Davis and Luke Kuechly. You will not find a better tandem than Patrick Willis and Navarro Bowman. That was unfair how good those boys were when they was with the 49ers. Yeah, hey, man. And now he's the linebackers coach for the Chargers. Traitor. Just playing. Just playing.
Well, boys, Mookie, did you have anything or on that last one?
I think that the story of the NFC West is going to be determined by the offenses. So that means all 4. Like, is Kyler Murray going to make that next step? Is Marvin Harrison Jr. going to, have a big year too? Is Trey McBride going to score touchdowns? Because it's been hard for him to get into the end zone. And then for the Rams, is Stafford going to stay healthy? Because if he does, this Rams offense should click. If it doesn't, then unless Stetson Bennett's got something or Jimmy G's got something, Sean McVay is not a miracle worker. He's a great offensive minded Super Bowl champion, but I don't think he can rehabilitate Jimmy G's career to the point where he's functional again. And then San Francisco, Trent Williams, can he stay healthy? Dominic Puni, I know, is hurt, but also is Brock Purdy going to still be that guy? Like, Purdy ended up having to do a lot last year, but like, health matters there. And as Ayuk, once he's back, is he going to be as effective as he was in years past? Because I think Ayuk ended up being a better receiver than Debo. And then for the Seahawks, it's, can the O-line block? Is Darnold not a fluke? And is this team going to be able to run the ball like they say they're going to run the ball? So I think whichever offense is the best is going to end up winning the division, because I think all these defenses are going to be at least formidable, but the offenses all got question marks, and a lot of them are health-based. But yeah, we're going to find out pretty soon who's going to rise to the top.
Absolutely. And who knows? I mean, if the Rams crater this year, McVay might go into broadcasting like the rumor was a few years back. Please. You've got your championships, man. Go. Who doesn't want to retire happy, healthy, at like 40-something years old with a ton of money? Like that's the dream right there.
Yeah.
Well, boys, this has been a great conversation here on Winning the Division, episode 59. We'll be back next week for the NFC South, the last and final division preview. Tune in for that next week. Remember, as we say here on Winning the Division, you are either in your division or you are winning your division. For Ben Troupe, for Mookie, for Mark and Brett, and for Bo, I'm Ryan Smith. Keep pounding, everyone, as we say here in Carolina. Rate, review, and subscribe wherever you get your podcast, and we will see you guys next time.